Hey guys, I'm Plague. Welcome to my little astronomy drawing challenge where I plan to draw all sorts of celestial bodies and events as characters. So this is the second phase of the death of a medium to lower mass star like our sun, and this stage is called the Red Giant. In this little series, if you haven't watched my previous video, I'm going to be dropping some fat astronomy knowledge onto your poor, unsuspecting brain, while also explaining how I took some inspiration from whatever I'm actually drawing. So as promised, before I talk about the drawing, I'm actually going to talk about what happens during this phase and why it's called the Red Giant. I won't be talking about the process in depth, but I totally recommend looking it up if you think it's interesting, because I think it's super interesting. If you watch my previous video or already know a thing or two about stars, you'll know that the sun spends this large portion of its life converting away its main energy source, hydrogen, into helium through this process called fusion that happens within the core. The star's real death begins here, when the hydrogen gets totally bored of the party because helium is taken over and everyone's inhaling helium. It's pretty hard to reach those temperatures, so the core is forced to collapse onto itself or contract. The sun is squeezing into itself, making it super dense and super hot, just like when you're trying to fit yourself into a pair of jeans. The heat from the core is extending to those outer layers of the sun and causing those gases to freak out and start like moving around, and that's the expansion. The sun has now expanded to beyond twice its original size, and while that core itself is contracting and heating, the outer layers are losing density, they're expanding, they're cooling. And like I said in my previous video, the cooler stars are red, and bam, that's a short and hopefully not too drawn out reasoning why astronomers call this phase the Red Giant. Okay, so I did this super exciting thing, right? So I recorded my coloring process for this video, right? So here's a sneak peek. Oh my god, I'm doing so good. Isn't it great? Oh, it's just black? Oh, well, yeah, that's the recording. That's my coloring process. That's half of the coloring process, so I'm so glad you guys got to see that. So to talk about how I've taken some inspiration from the Red Giant itself and put it into the picture, if you watch my previous video, you'll have noticed that the sun girl I drew was a bit more childish looking. She looked playful, sort of blissful, whereas here I have her way more matured. She's not feeling her midlife crisis. She looks pretty pissed. She looks like she could be a Sailor Scout or something, I don't know. I actually put clothing on her, and I wanted it to look kind of tattered, sort of like she burned through it, with like the growth. I guess it would have made sense to draw her as like a beaming monster filled with Lay's potato chips or something, but I'm not that skilled, and I picture celestial bodies as radiating gods and goddesses, so yeah, that's my ideal depiction. Just like in my last picture, I've put some indications that there is a core, and this time it's beneath her skin rather than exposed. This time I've got it burning and oozing there through the cracks in her skin on her hands and legs, and I've also got it oozing out of her third eye. I don't know how I didn't think of adding a third eye onto the first picture. If it doesn't have a third eye, it's not my drawing, so that's that. I honestly didn't think I would talk this much, but here I am at the end of the video explaining that I talk way too much. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry that you missed out on like a ton of the process, but hopefully you liked it enough to give me a like and a subscribe and maybe some feedback. I absolutely would love that. Thank you guys so much for almost 100 subs, yay! I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!